Morning, everybody. My name is Jason Wampler, and I have a special Axe to Grind episode today. It's Sunday morning. It's still raining. I was supposed to be listening in on a religious meeting. Evidently, for whatever reason, they don't have Zoom tied in. First time I was on time. I get so little spirituality in my life. I don't know what these guys are up to. But anyway, so I'm a little disappointed right now. But this is an episode of An Axe to Grind. I'm going to keep it short. Hey, a while back I went off about eBay, and unfortunately, I've kind of finally figured out eBay is run by people who are professional scam artists. You're not going to make any money on eBay, so my suggestion is you might want to try other platforms like Shopify or OfferUp. I'm not sure how good they'll do on those either. These online selling platforms, they work okay. I made money on OfferUp, but I didn't. I listed on OfferUp, but there was always outside sales, large items. The market very clearly defined itself, and it worked out okay. eBay is a different story. I've been doing business with them since the year 2000, so it's been a long time. As of late, they're coming up with excuses like, well, we can't link to your bank, it's in a different name, etc., etc. They've got all sorts of mysterious ways of making your money disappear. I sold a control unit that I made $40 on. I sold it for $25. Plus, I made $5 on shipping, plus an extra $10 tip from the guy I sold it to. And I got the thing shipped off, and the guy has it in his possession, but guess what? I haven't seen that $40, and I never will. He had to send me another check. I'm not sure if he's going to get refunded either, but unfortunately, I have to walk away from the account. eBay's just, they hit me up for an extra $20 in shipping, and then the rest of the other money has disappeared. I sold 2 items to the same individual on the East Coast, and now for whatever reason, I actually owe eBay about $4.50 in shipping fees, but it went down to $2.50 for selling fees. So I'm not really sure what's going on, but my impression of eBay is they're fast handing me. They hold on to the money until the customer receives the item, or so they say, and the customer verifies they've received the item, and then they put a 3-day hold on it after that, and then you have to send it to your bank. What's interesting is they need all your intimate banking information just short of the password, but I'm thinking they're going to want to require that too, so they can look into and root around your bank account. So they've got my bank account information on 2 of the 3 banks, and they've got all my credit card information, yet somehow they can't process the payments. So I'm waiting on $40 that I'm never going to get. If I did get it, I have to wait another 3 days, and then my bank would make me wait another 3 days after that. Now this is stuff I sold a couple weeks ago, so I'm getting really tired of eBay. I had $60 that I made, then it's whittled down to $49 because I paid for shipping. And the $49 they're not posting anywhere because they said, well, we can't get your bank to accept it because it's in somebody else's name, etc., etc. And so that money I expect is just going to go away. I had negative experience last year during the holiday season with eBay. I sold over $400 worth of items. I think I made like $15 every 3 months. And I went back and forth to the United States Post Office. I discovered how awful the United States Postal Service is. Shipping packages on a holiday. Definitely do not use the United States Postal Service during the holidays to ship important packages. If you're sending off gifts to loved ones, you want them to have it by Christmas Day for a Christmas present. I don't celebrate Christmas, but for those of you that do, beware. Do not ship anything through USPS. Also, beware on eBay. You will receive the item, but the problem is if you're a seller on eBay, don't plan on making any money. You might want to use it as an advertising platform, a cheap way to promote your product, and just plan on giving the product away because it doesn't matter. It does not matter how much money you make. One way or another, eBay is going to find a way to kind of keep whittling that money down. They'll keep you waiting for it, and they'll find out, well, something else came up, or the shipping service cost extra because you ship batteries, or we had to recalculate shipping. I thought it was I thought it was very inexpensive for me to ship my control unit, but I remember very clearly stating in the package dimensions the size of the control unit and its weight. And what they came up with was like $14.50 for overnight shipping through Federal Express. And there was a big yellow control unit for rocket launchers, and it was heavy. It weighed at least 10 or 15 pounds. I remember very clearly entering the details of how much that box weighed. I put 15 pounds. I'm conservative. I usually tell eBay, whoever calculates shipping in eBay, and I've had this problem for decades, I very clearly remember putting 15-pound weight plus the dimensions for that control unit. And they come back with me at a $14.50 price tag to ship internationally overnight at UPS, something that weighed as much as it did, and I thought that was kind of strange. But then they come back to me, and they come back for me for a $20 $20 bump in fees. Okay, so now the first $18 that came out of the money out of 40, so that whittles me down to $22. And then they come back for an extra $20 for shipping. So I called the guy who I shipped it to in Maryland. A nice guy, really ex-veteran, really great guy. I like him. I don't mind. Wouldn't mind being his friend or his pen pal. He lives on the East Coast. His name is Tom. He's a former U.S. military veteran, which, I always say, I salute you. Thank you for your service. Thank you for my freedom, Tom. But right now, the time is not for that. So I had to ask him to send me a $40 check. That's the only money I'm going to get, because you're not going to get anything from eBay. If you sell a $60 item and it's $20 shipping, one way or another, they're going to keep your money. You're never really going to see it. You're just not going to see your money on eBay. They're going to keep it. They're made up and run by Eastern Indians whose philosophy is, especially when they enter this country and they immigrate to this country. Their philosophy from the old world ideals is to simply rip other people off and take their money. And that's kind of part of their culture. I hate to say it, but that's just kind of how they are. If they want to argue with me, leave a comment in the comments section. Hit the like and hit the subscribe button as well. I'm sorry, I'm a little tired, so if I'm stumbling over my speech, it's because I got up early this morning, which is uncharacteristic, but it was good. I got a really good, solid night's sleep. There is no substitute for sleep. So a shout out to my friend Tom in Maryland who bought the control unit and the rock itself. I think I did a good job on both. But like I said, I'm not going to see any money from eBay. I will not see any money from eBay. They say I had made $69, then it whittled down to $54. I'm not going to see that. I can't find that anywhere. I can't find anywhere on my site where it's going to be paid to me. And then that got whittled down to $4. Now, for whatever reason, I don't know how this works, but now I owe eBay $4.50. Now, mind you, I sold a rocket. It sold for 99 cents. I made about $10 in shipping. I sold that control unit for $25. I made $30 with 10 in shipping, so that's $40. So between the two, I let's just say I made $50. Well, I'm not going to see any of that money. In fact, eBay says I owe them $4.50 or $2.50 for seller's fees. So I'm just curious, where is my money going? So I opened up another account in my other name, which is actually Jason Wampler. That's the actual real me. And I owe them from another account on selling fees. Well, they reversed that practice because they keep dinging people for seller fees. They're not going to have any customers. But a warning to people, stay away from eBay if you're not a high-volume seller. If you're a retail outlet with a degree in business, you might be able to survive in the eBay market. But if you're an individual private seller, I would recommend staying away from eBay because you're never going to see your money. If you sell little knickknacks here and there, you make $40 here, $80 there. The way they do business is they kind of they'll just bleed you dry. They'll protract the they'll protract the how do I say it? They'll hold on to your money in escrow because they say the customer's going to call in and verify they got the deposit. Well, I mean, a lot of times they have, but we don't have record of that. Well, it's easy for them to say that. It's also easy for the customer to forget how to say that and just get the product without any money coming out of their bank account. And I can't put up with that because if I give you something that I made, I want you to pay for it. I'm not even getting fair market value. I'm getting toy prices for stuff that's about the best it is in the entire market. It takes a long time to establish customer-based business. I understand. But anyway, I'm talking a million miles an hour, but my experience with eBay, if you sell little knickknacks and stuff like that, $60, $100, even up to $500, you're just not going to see that money because one way or another, eBay is going to make a way to hold on to the money and create problems, place both ends against the middle, have arguments with somebody who lives 3,000 miles away from you, and then make you responsible for paying the shipping if they don't want the item. I clearly state in my listings, the buyer is responsible for shipping costs if they don't like the item. So I stand my ground with this one person I sold a tablet to. But you know what? I'm going to cut my losses. I'm going to fish and cut bait. I'm getting that $40 in the mail from Tom tomorrow. If my local post office is functioning correctly, which I hope they are, because if not, that's another $40 I lost. I can't refund Tom because if I do that, then I've got to pay about $1,600 or $16 into it just to cover two gas gallons. Oh God, I don't know. I'm just frustrated. I have to pay $16 to refund the money, plus the $2.50 I owe for seller's fees. And now they want money from me, and that kind of sounds familiar. It's everything's kind of congruent with like that a ripoff price. It's like we got you a $5,000 loan, but the service fee is $550. So is there any way you can Venmo us the money or put it on iPay and give us the number and the card? That kind of scam. That stuff is obvious. These guys have gotten a little bit more savvy, but I guarantee you're never going to see your money. So large-scale retailers, I'm sure they skim them too. I'm sure eBay is responsible for extensive data harvesting as well, which is a big ticket because, as you know, criminal behavior has gone international and it's legal. So, I'm sorry, folks. Don't do business with eBay. Find another selling platform to do business with. It's one that's more accommodating for little guys like myself. Shopify or OfferUp. Stay away from eBay. Unless you sell volume, you've got 10, 20, 40,000 listings, and you're an actual real outlet. eBay can be one of your outlets, your selling outlets. But again, if you're doing large scale retail, you want to monitor your performance and see if you're actually turning a profit by doing business with eBay. I kind of think you won't, but your profit margin will be significantly, noticeably lower doing business with eBay. And eBay, like I said, they skim and they kind of shuffle. It's like a shell game with them, and they make up excuses and then this and that and why you gotta wait, and then you call them on the phone and they have business hours from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. and you can't get through to them for customer service if you tried. So I'm just walking away from my one eBay account. The other eBay account, Benji20, I've got I got 3 controllers listed. I'm going to go ahead and cancel all 3 sales, all 3 listings. What I'm going to do instead is try and get my own website, promote my rocketry products, and sell them that way. Also, I'm thinking I want to do that, plus social media outlets to promote my books from KDP, which is also not working out. KDP is an excellent platform. KDP, Kindle Direct Publishing, they're fantastic. They're doing everything they can, and in fact, they're actually advertising a couple of my books on the internet. My books are available for sale, and it's just unusual. I don't recall ever paying them for advertising. So KDP is going above and beyond, but they're putting me kind of sort of the same boat. It's not really their fault, but I have yet to make any money from my writing efforts. So, but that might sound familiar too to a lot of writers, because as writers, we're just not treated right. We're not paid anything at all. I guess so. One person in the entire business has to have all the money. I kind of understand how it works, but I kind of don't. Anyway, so that's that. So don't do business with eBay. You're not going to make any money. They're made up of an organization. They're an organization of criminals, and they scam and plot just to make money. I guess they just take people's money, but you're not going to get it. You sell an item, they'll hold it in escrow, and they'll peck at your money until it's eradicated, so you got nothing coming to you. So that's it. 15-minute mark. I don't want to go on any farther past this, because at 15 minutes is all you're going to want to watch my ugly ass go off about something that causes me to grind my gears, because I have an axe to grind. My name is Jason Wampler. I'm not very good looking. I don't care. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button. Leave a comment. Say, hey, ugly white boy. Put Don Johnson or George Clooney in your place, because you're just as disgusting as I've ever seen. And I'm not a very good looking person, but that's okay. Neither is Gene Hackman. But God rest his soul, and his wife's too. All right, thanks a lot. You guys take care. Bye-bye.